Hi, I'm Radham Trashy and welcome to the channel. So I've had loads of questions about the L96 hop-up unit, how to adjust it, how to get the best performance out of it and how the actual hop-up unit itself works. So what I'm going to do is jump over to the whiteboard, take you through everything I know about it, give you some real good tips as to get the best long trajectory out of your gun. If you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the box below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So just to jump in the basics as to how the hop-up actually works, your outer barrel has a rubber bucking on the end of it, and in that bucking there is a little nub that sits through your hop-up window. So your barrel will come through like this, and through the little window that is in your barrel you'll have this small nub here that sits and makes contact with the BB. Now these are a few examples of different types of nub that you can get. The standard one within the L96 is this dome shape. A few people say it doesn't make enough contact with the BB, so obviously, you know, two circles meeting ones together at the top, there's going to be very, very small contact patch. Some people opt for like a flat hop design, which is a flat hop all the way across the top. Still, to me, it doesn't make that much difference as to the amount of contact. The only real one that does make a lot of difference is the mermaid tail style, which is this kind of dome shape, and as you can imagine, it almost hugs the top of the BB. So you can put different hop units in there, you can put different hop buckings in there, but with the standard L96 hop, you're going to have this domed hop and it works just fine. Don't feel that you can't lift any heavyweight BBs. With the standard hop, I've lifted 4s, 4 3s, 4 6s, so it's not a problem if you actually adjust the hop up correctly. So with regards to what the hop actually does, this small rubber nub here actually makes contact with the BB as it passes. That friction causes the BB to backspin, and that backspin can have different effects on the trajectory of the BB. So the most common causes of issues with sniper rifles is this top one here. I've seen it a ton of times. People have brought their guns to me and said, oh, can you have a look at it? Every time I shoot it, the BB just drops out the end of it. I've got the hop wound all the way on. So by winding the hop all the way on, it gives the BB so much lift that it backspins against the top of the barrel all the way down the gun, losing all of its momentum, and then it just drops out. Now it has a very similar curvature as if there's no BB, no hop on at all. So the BB just flies down the barrel and just drops out. So they have a very similar pattern. So people presume that the BB's not got enough hop. So if you are ever having this case, you've wound your hop up unit all the way on and the BB's just dropping out the end, you need to wind it all the way off and turn it up in very small increments. So there's two types of trajectory that you can have with the L96 dependent on how you want to use it. I like a nice flat trajectory, so I get it enough backspin just to get an extra lift, but at the same time the BB is travelling down the crosshairs, bang on the cross. Some people like to give it a little bit of height, so essentially when you're targeting a person, so we'll draw a little person here, my crosshairs are here, so we're shooting central mass, so I have a little bit of drop. Ideally I want the BB to hit me in the plate carrier so that it gives them nothing to complain about, so you know, no headshots or anything like that. The issue with the BBs that lift is that if you are aiming where we're aiming now, the potential for the BB to hit the person in the face is quite high, and obviously you want to try and avoid that as much as possible. So having a nice flat trajectory keeps your crosshairs nice and perfect on target. This drop off is normally because we've got no hop up set, or you know, because you've got this problem of the hop up being on too much. So it is all about balance. Actually, as to how the hop up on the L96 works, you have an adjustment screw at the bottom that you can access from the bottom of the gun. You put your Allen key in here, and as you tighten the screw, it actually pulls this whole ring down that essentially pulls this hop up arm down. The more you pull the hop up arm down, the more of this rubber nub you expose and the more hop up you're turning on. When you're looking down the barrel, if you ever take your gun apart, you should just be able to see a little bit of nub in the top of the barrel. This is probably too much in my eyes. You really just want to be able to see a small amount and then begin adjusting from there. If you can see a real ton of the nub somewhere like this scenario, then your hop up is turned on way too much. So moving back down to the adjustment, what I do is wind mine all the way out so the arm is as high as possible, and you've got no adjustment on. So if we're looking at it from this, you can see the nub here, and the adjustment ring and the arm that's going to pull that down. So you want to wind it so that this metal here from the ring is meeting the metal from the hop up unit, so it is wound off as far as possible. Once you've wound that all the way off, I always put my Allen key in at a 90-degree angle, so this is our Allen key here. and I do a quarter of a turn at a time from the first position. So a quarter turn, and then I take 3 shots at a target. So don't ever just fire with just one, because that could be a flyer. You get it, doesn't feel right, and then you keep winding the hop up on, and you've passed that point of where you're going to get this perfect flat trajectory. So what you want to do is just a quarter turn at a time. So 1 quarter turn, take a couple of shots at the target, see where they're hitting. If it's just scooping off and dropping off at the end, so it just flies at the barrel and drops off, then you need to wind it on a little bit more. If you're getting a nice flat and then a little drop towards the ground, or it's going out of sight where you can't see it anymore, nice and flat, then your hop is perfect, and that's going to give you the best accuracy possible. This type of hop, this long flat trajectory, does allow for you to make a lot longer shots than this one. By the time the BB's got to this point, it's lost a lot of its trajectory, and it's heading into the air, which is going to head, you know, out of the way of the target. With this kind of trajectory, when it gets real long extended, it's just going to start tapering down like at a small angle like this, which allows you to raise the crosshairs. So let's say we're targeting here and the target's at a big distance. By the time you've got that drop, it's going to hit them somewhere in the chest. So it allows you to get some, you know, 100-meter odd shots, if that's what your gun's capable of doing. But it does allow you to get the much further reach out to the target. So start with the unit all the way unwound, go in quarter turn increments. You know, stick with the standard hop, it works fine. Don't worry about spending loads of money on fancy hops. You can get great results out of the standard hop. You know, don't pull it down too far, don't wind this arm all the way in, because it can damage the hop rubber itself. If you are getting really inconsistent shots all over the place, then definitely take the gun apart. Check the internals are all good. Make sure that in this bucking here around the hop nub, there's no rips or tears or anything like that, where you've pushed the arm so far into the bucking that it actually has damaged it. So make sure there's none of that. Other than that, will give you the perfect setup for the L96. If you do have any questions about this, you know, there are going to be cases where your gun's going to be slightly different to everyone else. Please feel free to drop a comment in the box below if you do have any questions. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. I hope this is going to help you, and I'll see you all soon.